people, including doctors, nurses, free water and electricity, hundreds of new ambulances, and so much more. The most efficient medicine to fight the coronavirus is a strong economy, because only with a strong economy, we are able to deliver healthcare and welfare for the Ghanaian people, including doctors, nurses, free water and electricity, hundreds of new ambulances, and so much more.
Welcome back. If you just joined us, this is the Maiden Round 2 virtual rally. From now to December, the Hope campaign will be rolling out about 6 of such rallies. As part of the campaign this year, we'll be serializing the NPP manifesto and reaching out to you on the current government's transformational agenda. We would focus on Nana Addo's selfless, bold, and credible leadership, and Dr. Bawumia's famous digital revolution. We shall be highlighting the journey from 2016 and our country's state of affairs and how much has been achieved just within 4 years. In essence, these rallies will be making a strong case for why Nana and Dr. Bawumia deserve another 4 years. We shall also be highlighting the happenings in some major constituencies that we have been tracking for a while now. We have to watch them closely for 2020. Ladies and gentlemen, our first speaker is best placed. Our first female speaker is best placed to give you a better experience of what to expect for this campaign. Shall we welcome Miss Ama Frimpong.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon, Ghanaians. Good afternoon, the youth of Ghana.
Yeah.
So I came to tell you about what Nana Akufo-Addo and the NPP government have done, especially for the youth of this country. You see, the Akufo-Addo government has a complete value chain for the youth of this country. In 2017, when the government was voted into power, it strategically worked to close the gaps in the development of the Ghanaian youth, especially the young youth girl, and brought hope and audacity to the youth of this country. For those who had already gone through school and were struggling with John Mahama's unemployment unions, he brought in NAPCO. NAPCO was just to be a stopgap and close the gap between the period when he would put these people into formal employment. He just didn't create NAPCO. NAPCO is also supposed to give these young people the working experience that every institution requires when you want to start a job. As soon as he created NAPCO and placed 100,000 young youth into NAPCO, he embarked on a massive revamping of the industrialization sector by creating and revamping 232 factories. 76 of these factories are currently working across the country. The purpose of these factories is to create jobs, permanent formal jobs for the people who would go through the NAPCO training. After he had done NAPCO and was done with the formal people, he came to the informal sector and talked about planting for food and jobs, planting for industrialization and export, so that the young person in my village from Odumase, who would not want to come to Accra, who also do not have formal education, would be able to cultivate, feed the community, and use it to feed the industries. We will not go as a government open a sugar factory somewhere that we do not grow sugar cane. And so we came as a government that had foresight, thought of the industries that he was putting up, and said that we need to plant. We will not now just export or plant and then you go into the villages. People do not want to go into farming because when they plant, there is no already made market. These industries that were set up already have the markets for the jobs or the food that these farmers would be growing. Again, for the young girl, JHS graduate, whose hope was lost, they didn't know whether the person could go to school or not go to school. Nana Addo and the NPP government brought free SHS. Since modern day Ghana, that is the biggest, the largest thing that has ever happened to the Ghanaian youth. We can play around it. We can say all we want to say about it. But free SHS came for the young girl from my village in Odumase. It came for the young girl at Shoko, whose mother, apart from selling kenke to take her to school, could not. In 3 years, Nanado's government has trained 1.2 million SHS graduates. If this is not a government that has the youth at heart, we do not know what else you would want to hear from us. With it, the formal sector, we have put children to school. He looked at the informal sector. Even in this era of COVID, people who had their own businesses, young people who had their own businesses, and didn't know what they were going to do, had all now benefited from the MBSSI Adom micro loans that have been given to them. We have NEP, the National Entrepreneurship Program, that has trained over 20,000 young entrepreneurs and also giving them startup capital to grow their businesses. So we as NPP have taken care of the youth in the formal sector. We have taken care of the youth in the informal sector. We have taken care of even young ones who are yet to come. Yes, we have issues. We're going to solve it. People are talking about abolishing double track. They do not even know how they're going to abolish double track. Nanado and its government knows how to abolish double track, and that is why they have put up massive schools, dormitories, classrooms, so that going forward, they would be able to say that we all go to school at the same time. If you leave it to the person coming in who says that, oh, I will come in and continue free SHS, would abolish double track, but does not know how he's going to abolish double track. I came to tell you that Nanado's government has in mind to abolish double track and is preparing to be able to make that a reality. We will not use free SHS as a trial and error thing, because that is the future of the country. So this afternoon, Miniamo young people, I came to you to say that we have 4 more years for Nanado. We are pleading for 4 more years because it's a complete contrast between one who wants to go forward and Nanado administration that wants to go forward, and one that wants to use our vote to correct his mistakes. We're not a correction fluid. We're bringing you transformation. We want a seamless transition from SHS into the universities. We want to grow the economy stronger. We want to do our best for the youth. And the only way we can do it is to give 4 more years to Nanado. So 4 more for Nana to do more of the things he is doing. Thank you all.
Nyenlea keshi Nana adodankwa kufuadu ke ebafe efe allo ke ebafe efe mokobake ebafe ba yen gwanle ke enye Nana Dodankwa Akufo-Addo, promise and do. He is a deliverer of promises. And it is by the grace of God, because the battle is the Lord's. Nyenlea keshi Nana Adodankwa Akufo-Addo ke ebafe efe allo ke ebafe efe mokobake ebafe ba yen gwanle ke enye Nana Dodankwa Akufo-Addo, promise and do. He is a deliverer of promises. And it is by the grace of God, because the battle is the Lord's. Nyenlea keshi Nana Dodankwa Akufo-Addo ke ebafe efe allo ke ebafe efe mokobake ebafe ba yen gwanle ke enye Nana Dodankwa Akufo-Addo, promise and do. He is a deliverer of promises. And it is by the grace of God, because the battle is the Lord's. Nyenlea keshi Nana Dodankwa Akufo-Addo ke ebafe efe Allô? Qu'est-ce que va faire? Et fait. Mokobake, et va faire. Bah, yen, one leg. Que, enye. Nana Dodankwa Akufo-Addo, promise and do. He is a deliverer of promises. And it is by the grace of God, because the battle is the Lord's. Nyenlea Keshi, Nana Adodankwa Akufo-Addo. Ke, eba fe, efe. Allô? Qu'est-ce que va faire? Et fait. Mokobake, et va faire. Bah, yen, one leg. Que, enye. Nana Dodankwa Akufo-Addo, promise and do. He is a deliverer of promises. And it is by the grace of God, because the battle is the Lord's. Nyenlea Keshi, Nana Adodankwa Akufo-Addo. Ke, eba fe, efe. Allô? Qu'est-ce eba fe, efe. Mokobake, eba fe, but yen, one leg. Que, enye. Nana Dodankwa Akufo-Addo, promise and do. He is a deliverer of promises. And it is by the grace of God, because the battle is the Lord's. Nyenlea Keshi, Nana Adodankwa Akufo-Addo. Ke, eba fe, efe. Allô? Qu'est-ce que va faire? Efe. Mokobake, et va faire. Bah, yen, one leg. Que, enye.
Welcome back. Please remember that this virtual rally is brought to you by the Hope Campaign. We are live on all their social media pages, from Facebook to Twitter to Instagram, at the H Campaign. You can also join us on Facebook at Peace FM Online, Peace 104.3, UTV Ghana, UTV Ghana on Instagram, as well as Despite Media on YouTube. Kindly join us also on Asasi Radio. Pacho Moshe Sunday area where Mr. Moon joining and Peace FM Online on my Facebook page, Peace FM 104.3 FM, UTV Ghana, on my Instagram page, and so as well as on Instagram at UTV Ghana. A couple of years ago, when the NPP said they were going to roll out one district, one factory, a lot of people ridiculed it. Imagine if this had been the strategy for Ghana for 10 years straight. Imagine we could do 2 factories in every region every single year. I'm holding in my hand a product from the Ekumfi factory, Eku Juice, and this is constantly helping us stay hydrated during this virtual rally. NPP said it and they did it. The next speaker, ladies and gentlemen, is an amazing woman who has set her sights on a particular constituency in 2020. She's dynamic, she's amazing, she's wonderful, and she's wholly committed to the cause. Most importantly, ladies and gentlemen, she's one of the pioneers and patriots of the Hope Campaign. Ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome my sister, Sheila Battels. Just like a surprise element.
Kukrudu! Kukrudu! Eshi Rado. Thank you so much for this opportunity to be on round 2 virtual rally. In fact, I'm happy to be here and given this opportunity to speak concerning the things that we have ahead of us. In fact, Ghana is in a very good place now because we fought for this opportunity now that we have.
For the last 4 years, we have enjoyed the administration of His Excellency Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo. When me buy a last 4 years, ye begina mwanim, ene ye ne mo ebo nkomo. Ye ka kire mo say, aban a ebe, ye wɔ nneɛma pa a ye pese ye de magana fo. That's good. Na ye ne mo ebo san nkomo yi. Ye kasa fa nneɛma bebree ho. Ye kasa fa edwumasam, ye kasa fa free SHS. Ye kasa fa energy. Any nneɛma bebree a ye de ɛbrɛ Ghana fo. Na sese no woni me ba ya adwen a sa nneɛma yi nyinaa no dodoɔ na ye deliver. In fact, President Papa Ben any ye wo seeing His Excellency Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo. Yes, I want to kunya non to an edwuma so. Enti na yesre for round 2. And na dia menemo be kasa kakra. If you say last 4 years, ye gina mo anim no, ye ne mo ebo nkomo no, ye ka kira mo say ye energy sector, ye employment, ye programs are ye war education. Any sectors bebree no, it was struggling under the NDC. In fact, a lot of sectors were collapsing under the NDC. Say ne yembisa ye ho say Dumso ewo ho biomana. Wone me ba ya adwen a. We haven't seen Dumso. Now so adia ba ko a NDC ejama NPP eye kadodo. Say no energy sector yaka yetua say no debt still eda ho maye is over $1.4 billion. It is because of energy negotiations energy bad negotiations omo ye de your friend is a car ababeto menewo say yentua over $1.4 billion. Say no you produce over 4,600 megawatts of energy, whilst at our peak you hear just 2,700 megawatts. Adai na ube negotiate such bad agreements. Inti sanya meinti menewo ye tuaka anke ye betimi ede ahwe ama ye free SHS. Any other programs any ehu hia menewo no etumi akoso. Say no abanya Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo edi enim no or hwe say ye be making sure say ye be renegotiate sa debt say ye be ya more players will come into the sector and ensure say we get better deals ye bet we are less. Wow, even during the COVID era we were able to spend about 318 million on Ghanaians. Said ye be ya ye betimi ama tax reliefs. Na say me no electricity ye nya be free, insuo ye nya ni free. Aban Papa Ben and a betimi sa ede sa nneɛma ya ma o say His Excellency Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo ne na aban. Oba Ablekuma North ye wɔ nneɛma bebree ho hia yɛn, especially infrastructure, especially edwumasɛm. Na okuhwɛ improvement aba say no policies aban introduce sɛnea ɛbɛyɛ a menewo ye ho bɛtɔ yɛn. Young people say wo kwa rent dan a ye de seed money of over 100 million ato ho sɛnea ɛbɛyɛ a wo kwa rent dan na sɛ wo ni sika kra ye de bɛboa wo as advance loan. Empo no ye say for the next 4 years wo benya admission to any institution tertiary say wo ni sika wo de bɛkɔ school ne krampo a aban ɛbɛma wo sika wo de betua waka na after wetua even 1 year after national service. In fact nia eba no efe ede inti asese yesama His Excellency Nana Akufo-Addo 4 more years to do more for you. Ablekuma North for say mo parliamentary candidates and I'm Sheila Battles Sanya mene mo kasa no. Mo amunim say eniama pa na NPP edeba. Ye sha ase no Ablekuma North na ye nyina ye nim say eho no na development ini ho bebre. Eho na ye NPP aban na ye de electrification edeba Ablekuma North. All the road networks are ewa Ablekuma North nyina NPP na ye de baye. Your system, your programs are ye de ba in the next 4 years no. And they say you be making sure say your road infrastructure no ebe konenim. You be making sure say ye mebunu ejuma ye de ba, especially one district, one factory. Any other sectors are be ya in hiring of public workers, no, MBBM, and ya share pa ye dia ba, ebe making sure say the youth especially are able to get employment. Mesiamo, in the next 4 years, let us not trade our future for any mistake. Any other mistake, by choosing any other buying, it will affect us for 4 years. Yan twaso na yan fama NPP are buying any His Excellency Nana Adodankwa Akufo-Addo. Na nejuma pa oyeno wetumia twaso ama impuntuo aba Ablekuma North. Any Ghana fo nyina. Enti madam wasi bebre. If you say enyama pa Nana Adodankwa ne na aban edeba. Ebema Ghana abeye krabehye. Na minim se ye nyina no enua na ye hwehwe. Enua nti na ye to aba. Enua nti na ye nyina ye brese na ebeye ayema. Ene ye mama no so omo beye proud of us. Say aba ye be 2020. Ye beto aba pa a ede niama pa ebe bre me no. Enti nature to no. Hihye ya ye de ba a ewo free SHS. Ya ye nim sania ye ma abre ebi wo ho mu ntumi nko school because omu ni sika. Ebi wo ho a ye na ye ntimi nhwe ema omu nko school because of sikasem. Say ye yi ni nyina efi ho ema ye ma etumi ko school for free. Say in the health sector and hihye ye bebre aba a yetimi kra hwe ema ye nurses etumi nya omo allowance no mu etumi esua ade. Say no your hospitals bebre dodo na eba into our community sene ebe ya pomudin sem no so ebe ko nenim. Say no ye nyina ye nim enhihye ya de aba sene ebe ya se wo ma omo anyi omo awie school omo pese omo ahye omo adwuma ase sika ye de be so wo mu ama wadwuma no wetimi ahye ase ana se wadwuma egu kra moma yen kai covid emre ne so sika ye de share businesses mu businesses are collapse a ye ma wo mu sika a emu odru a ye gu so e man krofo se ne ebe ya omo adwuma no ebe ko nanim yen kai ni nyina na yen hu se aban papa ben ena esin NPP aban enoa ni aban a ye bebe gina manim NPP enoa ni aban pa a obetimi ni Ghana akọ nanim enti ye besra Ghana fo nyina especially Ablekuma North fo ye besra mo say 4 years ewo 4 years ewa pa my ntwentwene yanto abapa emfama abanya omo wani amapa eniama nkese a yede ba ma yen sane ebe ya Ghana yede to mpon enti medam asi bebre say ya ma Ghana eni Nana Akufo-Addo another round 2 sane ebe ya Ghana ebe ko nanim medam asi bebre na mi hia mu nyina medam asi.
Wow, that was a powerful speech by Sheila Batel's parliamentary candidate. Now, we have a lot of viewers online joining us via Zoom, and I'll have to obviously have a conversation with them. So let me see who will be the lucky viewer I'm going to interact with. All of them are wearing NPP paraphernalia. That's nice. Okay, I see a Kojo in there. Can we pick on Kojo to have a conversation with? Can we have access to Kojo? Hi, Kojo, can you hear me? Can we have... Kojo, 1 second, just a little technical challenge. Oh, there's a female online. I see Paulina. I hope we get to have a conversation with Paulina as well. All right, so Kojo, is Kojo online? Kojo, can you hear me? If you can hear me, can you wave? Can Kojo hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, so there's a bit of a challenge. If you're still listening to us, all of this is being streamed live on the Hope Campaign's digital platforms, at the Hope Campaign on Facebook, at the H Campaign on Twitter, at the H Campaign on Instagram. Now, if you're listening to us also, Despite Media is streaming this live. Okay. Who are we interacting with now? Okay, so I see a patron of the 2016 Hope Campaign online, Mr. Yofi Grant, GIPC CEO. Can we connect with him? Since Kojo couldn't hear me. Hello, Mr. Grant.
Hello. I can hear you, and I'm very excited. This is a very exciting time for Ghana. I think this is the country at the best of its time. Just like Singapore had Lee Kuan Yew, Ghana Nana Addo Akufo-Addo, and I believe this is the time that Ghana is going to see its biggest change and its biggest transformation. We are already seeing it. We're having a new crop of kids go to school. We are seeing technology play a massive role in the transformation of economy and the society. We having everybody digitally registered. We have all houses digitally addressed. There can't be a better time in Ghana than now. And I believe that with one district, one factory, we're training our young people to get good paying jobs in the future, just like how we are embarking on planting for food and jobs, which has brought about a massive transformation in the agri sector to the extent that we are getting food surpluses to export. How can it be better than that? This is the time for you to put your shoulders behind Nana Addo Akufo-Addo. He brings hope. He's brought us hope, and there's even more hope to come in the future. And so let's all rally behind him. Let's listen to what he says. Let's follow him and just use our time to empower him further, because there's bigger transformation coming. And the things that we want in Ghana are going to be brought to us by virtue of a leader who has vision, who has charisma, and who has the energy and the drive to deliver. He said he was going to deliver in 2016. We gave him the chance to rule. He has delivered. He says he's going again in 2020, and he will deliver. And for many of us who work for him, we've never had a more inspiring leader, a more visionary leader than Nana Addo Akufo-Addo. And so for all you young people watching, this is about you. For all you old people watching, this is also about you. And for all those in between, this is the time to show that your security is assured. Security in your job and in society is assured. And to do that, vote heavily in December for Nana Addo Akufo-Addo. You can't have it better than that.
Thank you so much, Mr. Grant. Don't go yet. I wanted to ask you, are you still there?
I'm here. I'm
yes.
here. I'm here.
There's a question of Do you think the youth of Ghana have a better future under the current administration? Is a concern for most youth who sometimes feel as if we are not deliberate enough in roping them in or giving them opportunities. But I know for a fact that this government has streamlined a lot of initiatives to support them. We would want for you to give us your thoughts on this. Is this government intentional in making sure that the youth of Ghana have a better future?
Absolutely, absolutely. Even check the policies that the government has put in place since 2017. They are all youth focused, whether it's planting for food and jobs that occupies close to 55% of our population anywhere along the value chain. It's structures that are young people who play a significant role. Now, if it's one district, one factory, the setting up of new factories all over the country, and we've started and we are delivering, and there are over 70 of them working. They're employing the young people, but probably even much more transformational is a free senior high school education, because in the medium term, the minimum educational level of the average Ghanaian, and I presume that because of our demographics, they are all young people, because 60% of our population is below the age of 35. Now, as we are actually doing free SHS, you realize that in the medium term, the minimum education of the Ghanaian, from the young Ghanaian, is high school education. We've never had it like that. And that is to prepare them for a future of transformed economy, where we are no more just going to take our raw materials and export, but we're going to add value, we're going to process them. And therefore, we are training the young people to do it. We are putting a lot of emphasis on life skills through TVET and improving TVET. And of course, as we know, TVET at the secondary level is free. And we're also not just going to push people to say, go and train and be a manager. We want people to do as well. Not just people who go get degrees and can't use them, but people who have opportunity. So the whole idea of the NPP's ethos in power right now is to transform the economy, give hope to the young person, give just not hope, but ambition and drive to the young person. And we've seen in the past 3 years that more young people are becoming entrepreneurial because they see opportunity. We are seeing that in the technology space. We are seeing that in construction. We are seeing that in business. There are many more young people now taking advantage of the open economy to build their own businesses, and they are going to be the blue chips of the future. And therefore, I declare that this is the time of the youth. This is the time of the young Ghanaian. They will never have it better than it is, and we will drive and work with them to make sure that we get the Ghana that we all want, the Ghana we all dream of, and it's theirs for the taking. This is the time for the young person. And Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo has clearly said that the currency of Ghana's future is the youth. All the necessary support to make this country beautiful. Already they are doing it, and we are not stopping. I remember that when we were young, there was a song, Ain't No Stop, Ain't No Stop, and let them believe and believe in themselves. Nana Addo said, believe in young people. They should believe in themselves and believe in Ghana, and they are the ones who I said are going to be the currency of our future. If we put all our energy behind the young people and the young women and the women in that society, believe you me, Ghana is going to be the country that we want it to be.
Thank you so much, Mr. Grant. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, there you have it. Patron of the Hope Campaign in 2016, still patron, the CEO of GIPC, who says he has declared that yes, the youth of Ghana are poised and positioned to do amazingly well for Ghana. Ladies and gentlemen, if you believe in Ghana, there is no doubt that you believe that our current leader deserves round two. At this point, and before I introduce our next speaker, I would like to invite you to use the hashtag on your social media pages. Believe in Ghana, believe in round two. Believe in Ghana, believe in round two. We have amazing prizes for the handles with the most retweets and likes. And at our next rally, we will announce the winners. At this point, I would like to welcome our third speaker. Our third speaker is an amazing, young, dynamic man. He has done amazingly well in the last 2 years with his brief as information minister. He has proven to us that when the youth are given opportunities, they can deliver, and he continues to sow seeds of hope in the young hearts of Ghanaians. Ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome Kojo Opon, Honorable Kojo Opon Nkrumah, Minister of Information and MP for Ofuasi Ayobi.
Thank you. Kukrudu. No, it's good to have the opportunity to be part of this round 2 virtual rally. Let me start by saying a big thank you to the Hope Campaign and to the entire team that is putting together this round 2 virtual rally. Colleague young people across the country who are taking time to join us this Sunday afternoon. I'm excited that you are joining us because my colleagues and I have some bits of information to share with you, which we believe, if you pay attention to, will go a long way to help all of us make the right choice in the December 2020 elections. You know, the elections of December 2020, in my opinion, even if I say so, will probably be the most important election of our lifetime. And it's for a simple reason. It's the election that will determine whether or not this country is going to go forward or going to remain stuck in this virtual cycle of always attempting to restart. It's an election that will determine whether young people will actually have a future of opportunities in this country, or whether we are going to remain in this exercise of hand to mouth every other 4 years. Why do I say so? Many years ago, Ghana was experimenting with coup d'etats. By 1992, we decided to come into a democratic dispensation. And for the first 8 years, our friends from the NDC had the opportunity to govern this country. We all saw how things ended. By the year 2000, almost all the indicators that you could look to as serious indicators that a country considers were out of gear. Then came John Agyekum Kufuor's first term, 2001 to 2004, 2005 to 2008. By the time he was done, Ghana was described as the rising example of Africa. Our colleagues in the NDC had the opportunity from 2009 to 2016 to build on that. But what happened? Again, all the data shows us that by the time they were done, Ghana's economy, Ghana's fortunes were coming back down. In the last 3.5 years, not even 4 years, 3.5 years, that Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo and Alhaji Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia have been in charge of affairs in this country, Ghana has made a resounding recovery and is looking to move forward. So this election is critical because it will determine whether we keep going forward or we are going to reverse all that has gone on so far. There are those who argue that this election is about who can make the most mouth-watering promises to young people, who can make the best promises to young people. Promises are important. Promises are easy to make. But I dare say that this election is not so much about who can make the best promises to young people. It is about who has the best track record when it comes to supporting the young men and women of Ghana. This election, number 2, is about who we can have trust in and who has credibility to deliver on commitments to young people. This election, number 3, is about who demonstrates that he's able to lay a good foundation for the transformation of this country. And finally, this election is about who responds to the single most important thing that young persons worry about. So let's start with track records. It was the Kufuor administration that brought about the capitation grant. The capitation grant ensured that young people at basic education level, whose parents could not afford to take them to school, could have some amount of money paid on their behalf so that they could enjoy basic education. That was the beginning in modern context of free education at the basic level. It was the Kufuor administration that brought the school feeding program, which was aimed at ensuring that even parents who, because of nutrition, were worried about taking their kids to school, now knew that by taking their kids to school, they would have at least one hot meal a day on campus. Enrollment went up. It was the Kufuor administration that brought the National Youth Employment Program, which in the beginning ensured that young people looking for jobs had an avenue to start off with. The Akufo-Addo administration has been building on it. I won't spend too much time talking about the free senior high school program because I know all of you are very familiar with it. Most likely, you know at least one person who is benefiting from the free senior high school program. Not just that one person, but about 1.2 million other young Ghanaians are benefiting from this program. The Akufo-Addo administration is the one that brought the NAPCO program that ensures that about 100,000 young people in a single day got a job opportunity. They would have otherwise been at home, part of those who are still looking for jobs today. The Akufo-Addo administration is the one that has brought back economic expansion. Look at where the former Mahama administration left us, 3.4% growth, and where the Akufo-Addo administration has taken us, average about 6% before COVID hit us. This is the political tradition, the NPP, that consistently does things that ensures that young people are better off as the years go by. So this election is not just about promises to young people. It's about who has the proven track record of delivering for young people. And I'm sure you can agree with me that it is the NPP that has the proven track record of delivering when it comes to young people. Colleagues, the second thing to consider is who has trust and credibility when it comes to fulfilling even the new promises that are being made. And when it comes to trust and credibility, there are only two things I'll draw your attention to. We need leadership that we can trust, that when you put into their hands Ghana's resources, Ghana's natural resources, they use it for the benefit of Ghanaians. And I'll give you just two examples to juxtapose. In 2016 December, when the elections were done and we were preparing for a transition, the administration of the day, led by Mr. John Dramani Mahama, was working hard to transfer almost 70% of Ghana's bauxite deposits to a company known as Exton Cubic, closely related to Mr. Mahama's brother. From 2017, when the Adodankwa Akufo-Addo administration assumed the reins of power, that bauxite was returned to Ghana and is today being used to build roads and bridges and other infrastructure for the young people of this country to benefit from. In whose hands can you trust that the natural resources of this country will be best used for young people? God has blessed us with gold and diamond and oil, but it took Nana Adodankwa Akufo-Addo to say the oil revenues should be used to pay for the school fees of Ghanaian children because it is something that God has given to us and he believes should be invested in young people. So when it comes to trust and credibility, there's a simple question of a track record even therein. Who has proven that they put the nation's resources to use when it comes to young men and young women in this country? When we are talking of this election 2020, the third thing is about who is laying a firm foundation for the future of young people. In laying a firm foundation, a strong economy matters. I know sometimes people tell you that don't mind these NPP people. They are always talking about macro this and macro that, inflation this and growth that. But listen, the macro indices of this country are an indication of how important it is to hold this economy firmly so that you, my colleague young people, can benefit. Services are increasing at a high rate. Mr. Mahama left it at 15%. Mr. Akufo-Addo brought it down to about 7% before COVID. If interest rates are high, it means when you want to borrow money to start your photography business or your Instagram-based business, the cost of that loan is high. Nana Akufo-Addo has brought down lending rates to ensure that you can get money cheaper and invest in your business. Very finally, this election, as we go for the 2020 polls, as I've mentioned, is also about the future. It is also about who is laying not just a firm foundation, but who is putting down credible programs that will ensure that young people benefit. And already, I think the programs of the NPP administration have been well articulated and lined up. Recently, you see our friends coming up with what they call low-hanging fruits, which they hope will entice young people. Ask yourself, how sustainable are some of these programs that they are proposing as compared to programs like the One District, One Factory program? Ask yourself, how sustainable and how, in terms of risk, are some of these programs they are proposing as compared to programs like the National Entrepreneurship and Innovation Program that are interested in ensuring that you get money and skills to build your business. In 2020, abana yeba beto no. Enye enkwa se ye ka se 2020 ye to amana na o 2020 no ye mrantie ni mebu e osi esi abutre na ye de nkomo e koso nyina gu nsani ani enye obi a o hye ye bokeke e na ye hwe di nachi ye hwe wo bobre abra ye de Ghana e hye wo nsa no eden na wo ye de bo Ghana mrantie ni mebu Oru akufo ye bi or the capitation grant by or the school feeding program by sabre now ye school akwala na fo metro mass kra mpo ane bo e wo form e de mawo na na adodan ko akufo ado esiso e no by the napko aba or the free SHS aba enyum de ba ambulances mo emrante ni mebu na ye fa wom ekuafo nyuma ku aho a oboa wom ni nyinara no niema e boa emrante ni emebu uye ni fu a hwan na ototo oman no sikasem fapiliye na ye mrantie ni mmebu yenya baabi agina yewura mahama ni ku abesen ko no yenyina ehu sene ya Ghana sikasem omobo no fom na omde Ghana nankasa kosi yawowa e wo IMF say ye koje besia de abeboye akohoma kakra so oman ye me na me kan yo ono ka se sa abre no na ware nam no manaka den akadompe enne nana adodanko akufo adobae no wakoje Ghana nankasa fisikasem nko asumu e de abegina ne na so ode ya yehu sika e na ode boye akohoma osan so ahwe mampuntu apagya mamrantie ni mmebu enya baabi egina ye besremu so kwatre kwase obema watade a na watie ni din enye de obi a eka keke e na yetie ye hwe ne bobre de oyeye se ye de mrantie mienu no gu nsani ani a de ananado aye amaye mrantie ni mmebu ni emra so se yeso ye beto aba epia no ama na konanim no konanim no ye bi ka ho a ye nyina yenya ehun faso mede masem ne ba wiye no ade ba ko a mehu wona na do danko akufu ado ho ne se owotema owa abadaye covid ba ye se wo hwɛ se ne watoto ne niema ɔko atia yare no nempo ɔsan atene ne nsa aboa yen a yen nibi yen hiafo ɔma yensuo enyinam kanea bosia kakra se emfe moye bra ebebisa yen ho se abra to renchem to yen 2016 kanea ni ho no eden na aban no eyema no aban ni mu no se minsuro me kan yekɔ cabinet a meni abofra kora mi wom nanso ba bia mete na mehwɛ ne nimdie ne ne suehu ne se nea ɔdwen mofra ɛho ɔno po ɔyɛ pani na ne bibie mu ɔtoto na ɔno ne nipa a yɛ mrante ne mmebu ye di na chi a ɔbɛma ye yiedie abam nti abawe ye toa manana adodankwa ekufo ado ama nanya mfie nan aka ho aye bi ama Ghana nyankopɔn hyira mu nyina 4 more for nana 4 more to do more for you kukrudu
different paths. The SHS path depended on how much money my parents had, what sacrifices they were willing to make, and whether they would send me or my little brother Issa to SHS. The other part is what would have become of me if there was no free SHS. But today, thanks to free SHS, my future is bright and promising.
Congratulations, you have a name. He's a boy.
Instead of depending on others, I will stand on my own feet and help my family. Free SHS is where my dreams for a better future and the dreams of thousands of young girls become a reality. Don't let NDC take it away from us. Vote for NPP and give all Ghanaian girls a chance for a better.
Hi, I'm Chelsea Peggy Donto. I'm 18 years and then I completed a Huntsman Girls Senior High School this year. I was able to go to secondary school because of the free SHS policy Nadu Dankwa implemented. I'd like to thank him a lot for that. And then I also want to plead with Ghanaians that please let's vote for Nana. Let's retain Nana Dankwa Akufo-Addo. He has good vision and then a lot of things to offer. 4 more for Nana. Say yes to quality education. Say yes to a better economy. Hi, I'm Chelsea Peggy Donto. I'm 18 years and then I completed a Huntsman Girls Senior High School this year. I was able to go to secondary school because of the free SHS policy Nadu Dankwa implemented. I'd like to thank him a lot for that. And then I also want to plead with Ghanaians that please
say na ebi mo de ntro beba ebi mo so de nokre beba abato wo nsunsun so na abato wo sunsun 2016 we came to you on an agenda for jobs. Nana Dankwa Akufo-Addo ni NPP Kubatan Yebontoa. Our position was clear that we needed to lift our youth and our people from the shackles of poverty to the path of prosperity. Again, Yes, also ne Ghana phone come out, yes, it was clear, and we're clear in our minds, say, baby, I know my kono, we needed strong, courageous leadership to take us out of the situation we were in. Since 2016, and within the last 3.5 years, the NPP administration, we've created in excess of 2 million jobs for our young people and also for sustainable jobs. Again, with the government's renewed focus in agriculture, and Ghana they feel proud under the Planting for Food and Jobs program. Ebio, and somewhere here can it's not that they're big now saying your church or near Masi Baba Beka. And if you are listening to me or watching us live from the ghettos, from the streets, in your cars, in the comfort of your homes, we should know that it had to take one strong, courageous leader to keep our lights on. We shall never forget that it had to take Nanado to ensure that there was no doomsday. We shall never forget that it had to take Nanado Dankwa Akufo-Addo and the NPP administration to restore our teacher and nursing training allowances. We shall never forget that it had to take a strong, courageous leader like Nana Akufo-Addo to initiate and implement this free senior high school program. We shall never forget that it had to take a strong leader like Nanado to embark on an ambitious industrialization program under the One District, One Factory. We shall never forget that we had a leader who in 2012 instructed his Attorney General to draft and pass a law banning Okada. And we shall never forget that this same leader is now asking us that the end legalize Okada. For Ebiana was sitting a beam. Minini said, Obibiani, Nedajin, and answer Nisusian said that Obichi Okada. Minini say, a mebum be a die, and so said that 77 prediasa, obey Jan training. Minini say, a mebum be a neni swadi, and answer Nedachin said, obey Nuboni. Nasewunya abine penimu obedi wenim na obabe kachrewo se to abama me na setena bone a wom meba na mababe yimu afim na wasan padwuma pa ma wo na oba ye no so wadi so a we ye amamu ne aban a metimi de mekra ene minim de atanachi ba se minya aban anase obi a wo baba be kachre me se ene motorbike a wutwi anase me de me flash program ne se me de Okada na eba I no instead so beboa me manya adwuma pa no wo pese wo kire me se oba momu a menyere me ho se eyade am di moto na betwi the rest of my life. That cannot be. Our reason for fighting this re-election is not to jamboree. Our victory is not to jamboree in 2020. But the reason for our victory is to ensure that we sustain Ghana in providence, in prominence, and in prosperity. Ghana for about wo sunsum about wo nsunsanso enya ne saakwa si eda sori na ye kanea na ejina so aban bi na dwen ho se me no mie ne yenuanom nkuma no motifie no yemo awom no motimi to asukuu so enya ne saakwa se na yade ana eda honom si ebeda sori mre bi no na ese Ghana for a sebe mpreduasa wo mu ni hweye anka mo awie sukuu o motifie o mo ye ya no mo ye adwuma it had to take aban bi ani suade hu. And they might be brave. Mati yenuanom ne yen speakers dodo na o maba be kasa. But the Melbourne, we are once again at your doorstep. Let's make sure so on the ballot paper on December 7th, we'll be confronted with choices. On the ballot paper will be a choice between poverty and prosperity. On the ballot paper come December 7th will be a choice between competence and incompetence. On the ballot paper come December 7th, we'll have to choose between the kingdom of God and the kingdom of darkness. And there'll be no demilitarized zone. Let's get involved. Let's make sure we don't sit on the fence. It's say about wo sunsumunti. Enunti na oto abapa eboam yenya niamapa ewo yabra bom ema yetimi to ampuntu dwuma so. It's say about wo insunsanso nti eno na enemi no mie ne betimi aka se Ghana efi bia na ye wa ye koyenim. Enye easy na ensan na hokwa. In a post-COVID Ghana, come 2021, you need a combined team of Obia or what's our governance in Chirechiremu, any Abamu, ni Amemu papa. and you'll be so bit me a boy and buy a sick assembly to ye. And my young fire and color TV in question and black and white. Today, those of us from the Hope Campaign team, we've decided to make the first step. And if you go to the Holy Quran, chapter 13, verse 11, it says, verily, 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 Allah will not change the condition of a group of people until they change it themselves. Now, what catch and say, "Oko Muslimin sum ni moi." Allah will when you your best son, you punish shebre, just here 2 and a morning, see your best son and shebre. Now, we're not so sweating extra mine. Same way in the Christian Bible, in the book of Zechariah, or says Zerubbabel, on Sana or their sa a Jumana Sine Dinas and all the sons and obey you. Yen animal mebo, and Rena ye woman, and say a fan or say a grow biddy. A son say ye here Ghana see a best nemu. Na in fear na ye sada yenimi. And then can another danko kufuado yet to see a bar John Jacob Kufo a fiso. And I Kenya sa a memory to us so and another danko kufuado. And can one district, one factory. Ebianki can factories be in one district. And then after John Jacob Kufo Yenya a memo papa to us. Inka ebia na nkanye free SHS nieka inki etwam ho no mko pempenso foforo ebia insatia no nyina anyepe ba minima wofo ni bia moment mi anko school esanse na boafo ni ho enne inka du September yanka yewo mu ne ye frɛ no September to remember awofo ton mo japade ton mo agudie ansa no mo mark school. And now there we've been lucky. We have a leader who once upon a time said to himself, so we need to think about the next generation of Ghanaians, not the next election. For more for Nanana and Emrantene Mabawa Eka, from the ghettos to the streets, from the classrooms to the churches, and from the mosque to wherever. Niekanesa Nanaya dear, Yamwan and your food yapani piano. Mojidia Cassias and any dear chassis. Throughout our campaign is going to be based purely on our message and what we've done. And people will win this election on the strength of our record. And we are not going into this election knowing very well, say our opponents will define this campaign on the strength of their propaganda. And I am convinced that Yediemi Enotun Senieni, Eyananado Danko Ekufuado, Ura John Dramani Mahama, Nyagana Fodo Dona Swensu Aswansa. We are confident that the Ghanaian people that we've kept faith with, and since 2016, and near my catcher of Nebosha Yeshel, and then Yamin Chadie, Yenimsi Abaye, Sabia Bishai and Tam Kessia were council under COVID. But be as it may, the covenant keeping God has kept his covenant with the Ghanaian people and kept his promise with the Nanado Danko Ekufuado administration. Abani say, Nenyamia Daroma, Nanado nti yetiminya eku juice. Na yes also ene Ghana for na. And then one district, one factory nti mitiminya bi say no. Where you different from yete under the Commander Sugar Factory. In the history of the world, the only sugar factory that ended up producing air other than sugar. Where the yaka say a yadia near the baby fruit juice. And they Ghana for it me hubi. And they will come mantam. And a baby bebra, Ghana for all over the country. Ejitum say NPP basui yetimia ya dear. And maybe you make a chairman say, let's take the campaign to the doorsteps of people who are yet to hear our message of hope. Let's take our campaign to the rooms, to the places. Reach out to your next door neighbor. Nakache and say 4 more for Nanano, 4 more to do more. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, in today's Ghana, whether your parents are rich or poor, whether you are from Tumu or Asankwegwa, whether your father is a lawyer or a trotro driver, Nana Ekufuado believes that nobody should be left behind. That singular inspirational story of leadership is reinforced in the choice we have made as a people, that public funds, wherever it may come from, should be used to educate our next generation. Folks, free SHS is not just a policy. For many, it is their only shot at intergenerational mobility. Indeed, politics should be regarded, in the words of Dr. Buzia, as an avenue of service to a fellow man. Political power is to be exercised to make life nobler and happier. In the end, our success or failure should be judged by the quality of the individual, by his knowledge, by his skills, by his behavior as a member of society, the standard of living he is able to enjoy, and by the degree of harmony and brotherliness in our community and life as a nation. Ladies and gentlemen, this is why this government deserves round 2. This has been the maiden virtual rally of round 2, brought to you by the Hope Campaign. I'd like to make a few acknowledgements. But before then, you need to stay poised for our next exciting episode, which will be communicated to you soon during the week. Now, we want to say a big thank you to UTV, Asasi Radio, Peace FM Online, Despite Media Group, 1D1F, our Chief of Staff, Mrs. Fremol Pari, Marta Pari as well, the patron of Hope Campaign, Mr. Yofi Grant, and all Hope chums and Hope supporters. This afternoon has been made possible by all of you. Ladies and gentlemen, round 2 is officially kicked off. Thank you. I've enjoyed being your host. My name is Akusia Esa Menu, Deputy CEO of the National Youth Authority. Thank you once again.
One village, one dog. Never to a man. Let's sit in the way. Nana Crazy, Amaya. Say, when swap, Nana Trimamaya. When you green book, you got catch them. Where's young confirm? Near Tropo Bokina. I facing any area. Yakakasin ye, Engineer Canada see, where the Filica Dochi. At our cafe, Opianitia, Mammy, I Fatisi 2020, ah, get one manana 2020, 2024 yet for Nana 2020, ah, 2020, 2024 yet for Nana 2020, 2020 yet for Manana 2020. What can no crazy? Papa me manana. Dedication, Papa me manana. One break, one down, get manana. Push it, baby, I'm not used to make manana. 2020, 2024 years for Nana.